welcome back. I'm sorry if it's dark in here. It's really dark and gloomy outside. I got every light in the house on. It still seems dark. So what are we doing tonight? We're going to do something I found on Google. I was looking for something else, and I opened it up, and it had this picture of this, I don't know, like a meat pie kind of a thing. I'm like, what's that? So I started to look at it, and it's called Runza. And this kind of thing is right up my alley because it's got cabbage in it, and I love cabbage. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to make Runza. So without further ado, let's get it. Let's go. Let's see if those pots. All right, this is everything you're going to need plus a little bit. And I say plus a little bit because I have some carrots out there. They're not part of this recipe, but they could be. The reason they're out there is they're about to go. I gotta use it. I'm gonna either use it or lose it, and I don't want to lose it. So this is what you're gonna need for the recipe. You're gonna need 2 packs of crescent rolls. You're gonna need some cabbage. It's still on sale everywhere. Even if you pay full price for it, like 78 cents, this thing still comes in under $9. You're gonna need some ground meat. I'm using ground turkey, as I always do. You're going to need an onion and 8 ounces of cheese. You can use cheddar cheese. You can use whatever you have. Mozzarella, Colby Jack. I'm using cheddar. I'm going to make this recipe. I have to make a batch and a quarter or a batch and a half because this does have cheese in it and there can't have cheese. So you might see a little bit extra in the pan till we have to part ways with the cheese, and that's because I have to make the extra batch. So first thing we're going to do is start chopping things up. For now, these are the ingredients I'm going to use as my pantry staples. We're going to use some olive oil, some Worcestershire sauce, Lowry seasoned salt or table salt if you have it, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. I might, and I say might, use a little bit of beef bouillon, but I'm still on the fence about that. All right, for this part, there's no rhyme or reason. Just cut it up. I'm going to put these probably in small pieces. If you're using bagged coleslaw, it's already ready for you. The reason I have extra onion out here, again, is because I have to make some for Eric. So I'm just going to in case you have a carrot in your house and you want to throw it in there. I'm going to make it thin, like that. And then I'm just going to try and like do real like matchstickish kind of things. Kind of like that. Maybe a little bit skinnier than those. But that's what we're going for, matchsticks. Okay? And I'm just going to dice those up. So let me get all that done. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all these carrots and onions. I'm going to put them in a container and I'm going to get to getting on the cabbage. Alright, so I halved the cabbage. All I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it into squares or something, I suppose. I've already taken that out. Once you take this apart, it's going to look like a lot, and then it's going to cook all the way down. So basically, that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to chunk it up, and then when that's done, we'll be ready to cook. My bracelet out of there. All right, I haven't separated this all the way yet, and I want to show you what I'm doing. When you get these really thick parts of the cabbage, here's one right there. Rather than throw it away, which most people do, I just take it and I shave it down to real thin like the matchsticks, and then I throw them in there. I eat every part of the cabbage with the exception of the stump I cut off the end. That's it. Every other piece is going in. So onward, forward, I'm going to pick through here. I might throw these in with the carrots because they're about the same size as the carrots and they'll cook in the same Same order. Okay, onward, forward. Let me finish cutting this up and I'll meet you right back here. All right, so we're coming down the home stretch. This is even gonna look like more than this because I've only slightly separated the layers. I'm gonna chop this piece up and then I'm gonna meet you over at the frying pan. All right, that's the pieces that I cut off the side, the thick pieces. This recipe calls for a lot of butter. I can't use butter. So what I'm gonna use is some Country Crock vegetable spread. That's what I'm using. You can use butter. Trust me, if I could, I would. Well, I guess not, because I could if I make 2 different dishes, but I don't want to do that. All right, so anyway, we're gonna put a nice big plop in here. I'm doing this ahead of the meat. Typically, I would just start with the meat, but I want to saute the carrots a little bit before I add them in with the cabbage, and the onions. So I'm gonna put this, I'm gonna saute it a little bit, and then we're gonna add the meat. Just want to give it a head start. So we're gonna add some butter in the pan. All right, so I changed my mind. I'm not going to do the carrots first because I wanted to season the meat. So now remember, I'm putting extra meat in here because I have to make an extra container. So there's the extra piece for Eric's container. The recipe calls for 1 pound of ground beef or ground whatever. And this is for us, for the rest of us. I'm going to give that about a minute or so, and then we'll add the carrots and the onions and all that. Now it's not even halfway, but I'm going to start adding the carrots and the onions and stuff like that now. I hope I didn't cut up too much carrots, but I had to get rid of those carrots. I'm not throwing my money down the drain. Might be a little bit carrot heavy, but we'll see. All right, so we're gonna, and I'll be back in just another minute to add the onions. Here go the onions. And we're just gonna let that cook for a minute, and we're gonna add the cabbage. We're gonna add some seasoning too. I never get when recipes don't come with seasoning. Like it says salt and pepper. That's all? Just salt and pepper? I forgot I wanted to add a little bit of seasoning to the meat, and the meat only, but we're here now. All right, so I'm gonna add some seasoned salt. Not a lot. We're gonna add some garlic powder. These are all to taste because it didn't say to add this. I'm adding it. I want some flavor in my food. It just said salt and pepper. Oh, that was onion. This is garlic. What I wanted to add was the Worcestershire sauce before the carrots. But we're here now, as I always say. We're here now. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons. If you're using beef, you don't have to use this. Ooh, a teaspoon is a cup. Boom, 2 teaspoons. I was thinking about adding a little beef bouillon in there, but I don't know yet. So we're about to add the cabbage. It's the cabbage. The directions said cook it until it's done 3 to 5 minutes. I have never gotten cabbage done in 3 to 5 minutes, but that's what the recipe says. All right, so I'm gonna give this 1 more minute and then we're gonna add the cabbage. All right, I took out the portion for Eric that I added, which was the 1/2 pound. I just put everything in here, made it into a big pile, cut it in half, and then cut that half in half. That's about as close to getting his out of here as I could get. All right, so now we're gonna start adding cabbage. I decided not to pull it all the way apart because it gets too big that way, but we're gonna add some of the cabbage in here. I lowered the heat. And I'm gonna put some at Eric's as well. Oh, it's too big a piece. I hope I have enough, because I think I do. All right. We're gonna start to season things, because I season my food, I don't care. We're gonna add some seasoned salt to the cabbage. I tell you that all the time, it takes the bitter out of it. A little bit of onion. Back there for Eric. A little bit of the garlic. I said it like that one time and it stuck. I said garlic instead of garlic. And a little pepper. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix this around and we're going to put a lid on it. We're going to cook it slowly until it's all wilted. Meanwhile, we're going to step over there and I'm going to show you what we're going to do with the crescent rolls right after I get this all mixed up. All right, so we're gonna slice up the cheese. I was supposed to do that earlier in the beginning. I forgot, so I'm just gonna chop it up in like little thin strips because we're gonna add it to the meat anyway. For the dairy-free, we're gonna use the Daiya cheddar. Now, you can use cheddar, you can use mozzarella, you can use taco, whatever you got, just use that. All right, looks like a bunch of little balls. I put it in my mini food chopper and bloop, 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 and now it's done. Let me show you how I'm gonna do the pans. So I sprayed some vegetable spray in the frying pan, the casserole dish. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to beg to the popping gods that this does not pop in my hands. I hate that. All right, stay with me, guys. Please don't pop. Please don't pop. Please don't pop. Please, please, please don't do it. Don't do it. Yay! Wahoo! Eric's popped on me, by the way. I'll show you his in just a moment. What we're going to do is we're going to par cook the bottoms. We're going to unroll it and put it in this here pan. Casserole dish, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to have a top and a bottom. This first one is the top. You're just going to mush it together like that. Or I could have just bought the sheet, but I didn't think of it. I just grabbed it. Saw it and grabbed it. All right. So let me mush all that together real quick. All right, so there we go. That's the best I could do. We're going to par bake these about half the time. This is Eric's. It's half of a roll. And we're going to put that in the oven right now. All right, let's take a peek and see what it's doing. I have my oven preheating at 350. All right, so that's ready. To this, we're going to add the cheese. I'm going to add a little bit at a time, but also know, like I said with Eric's, I'm going to use the Daiya in his. I'm doing the exact same thing over there. Just not going to use the same spatulas anymore. And put half of it in. Well, that was a little more than half. Got to give that a nice mix around. I'm going to let that melt a little while I do Eric's in the back over here. It smells really good. I got to pull those crescent rolls out before they overcook. All right, let me melt that through a little bit. I'm going to turn it off. And then I'm going to take care of Eric's and we'll get the crescent rolls out of the oven. All right, that's the par cook. Let's get back to the stove. All right, just took the lid off of that. The cheese is in there. That's the majority of the cheese anyway. I like that cheese pull we got going on. All right, gonna add the rest of the cheese. It says the whole 8-ounce block. I'm going for it. I've had this a long time ago, but I didn't make it. By watching what's going on, I know I've eaten it. All right, what I'm gonna do is it doesn't really need the heat on at this point anymore. I'm just gonna put the lid on it and show you Eric's. All right, so that's Eric's. I just threw a little bit of cheese. I use less of the non-dairy because it does have a strong flavor. And if I put too much, then he just won't eat it because it's overpowering. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna mix that through. It doesn't even have to be all the way melted because it's going in the oven. All right, let's get back to those crescent rolls. All right, I've already done the majority of Eric's to this point. I got the meat in his pan, basically. Ate a lot of food. I was worried it wasn't going to be enough with 1 pound of meat. It's definitely enough. Look at that cheese. I read one that said put 2 pounds of meat. There is no way. That is entirely too much. All right, so now that this is in the pan, and I did taste this for a seasoning. It's not bad. I'm not exactly sure what it's supposed to taste like. I mean, I know I've had it before, but I don't remember exactly what it's supposed to taste like. All right, let me get the crescent rolls out of the refrigerator. Here we go with the please don't pop again. Oh. I kept it in the refrigerator. It shouldn't pop. When you let it sit out, that's when it pops. But not always. All right, let me get you back in the frame here. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna take this roll and we're gonna stick it right on top. And then we're gonna cover it up with some foil. And we want it to cook for 30 minutes, I think, if my memory is correct. But at 20 minutes, we'll take it out and uncover it so it can brown up the last 10 minutes. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay these down on top of the rolls here. Not the rolls, on top of the Runza. And we'll just pinch it a little bit. You don't have to, but you can stretch it out over the whole thing. You can see what I'm doing. I know my hands are in the way. Just like that. Spread it out. There you go. Here's Eric's. That's what it's supposed to look like. Something like that. Hold on, is it dark? I sure hope that's not dark. I did the best I could. All right, so I'm just gonna foil this up, put it in the oven. I'll go back and read what I wrote down about the timing. I think it's 20 minutes and then 10 minutes uncovered. At 350, because my crescent rolls say 375. All right, cover her up and in she goes. All right, in that goes. I checked, it wasn't specific. It said 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm gonna do 20 and then uncover it the last 10. All right, that's what it's looking like at the 25-minute mark. I just took the foil off and I put it back in. I try to give a complete picture of what we're eating for dinner. I know a lot of people don't do that. They just show you what they're making and that's it. But then I often wonder, well, what do you have with it? What I'm gonna have with ours tonight is just a simple side salad. I have some seasoned croutons for us, and I have some wonton strips for Eric because there's no milk in it. There are some croutons that don't have milk in it, but I didn't see any today, and that's what I grabbed. Oh my goodness, look at Eric's. Oh my goodness, that's the dairy-free. Woohoo! Here comes ours. There you go. All right, I'm gonna take a small piece. I don't want a big piece. So I'm just gonna cut it like that right there. And we see if we can get it out in one piece. Let's find out. Right there seems good. All right, let's see if I can get it out of the bottom there without killing myself. All right, I cut a piece. See if we can get it out without tearing things. Look at that. Ooh, ooh. Just get ready to slide off my spatula. All right. That's a big enough piece for me. Right there. See down in there? All right, let me plate it up with a little bit of salad, get Eric's out, and I'll show you what that looks like. Look in there. That looks yummy. There's Eric's. We're gonna cut down inside his and give him a big old honking piece. I'm afraid I'm gonna burn myself. And there's the dairy-free version. Look at there. It's looking really good. I licked my fingers. It's quite tasty. All right, there we go. It's all plated up. That's the dairy. That's the dairy-free. I'm going to meet you at the table.
If you get any benefit at all from my content, you can help me out by clicking like, share, commenting, and definitely hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell, so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video.
Dinner time! I have to figure out and think. Frinker. I have to figure out what I could say besides I can't wait. Because every time I say it, but every time I mean it.
Can't wait.
All right. Oh, that's got to be a big bite. You ready? Mine's big. Yours big? Let's go for it. Bottoms up. That's really good. That's really good.
What's this?
It's called Runza. It's supposed to be like ground beef, ground meat, cabbage, onions. I added carrots. And some seasonings and crescent roll.
It's really good.
Yeah, and cheese. Cheddar cheese is in yours. All right, and then we have a side salad. Eric's got his plant-based. I got the Catalina, and we're going to eat. Then he get the others fed, and we'll tell you what they think about it at the wrap-up. Bye-bye. Dinner's over. How do we do? Boom! They didn't finish. Now, let me just say this. Trey has not eaten yet, so there'll be a portion out of here, but there's still leftovers. Eric can only eat half. He was stuffed. So let's see what they thought about it. Aiden, go first. What'd you think about that?
It was fantastic.
Eric, what'd you think about dinner?
I thought it was good. I liked the taste of it. It was filling, and I really liked the side salad.
Side salad, okay. Wait, good with it? Tyler, what about you?
This was absolutely good. You did it very well. You're a good cook, and it was filling.
Me, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I like anything that has cabbage in it. Love it, love it, love it. So I may be a little prejudiced on it because it has cabbage in there, but it was really good. It was really filling. At first I was like, I don't know, a little bit of cabbage and a pound of ground meat. Is that gonna feed all of us? It did. So there you have it. I hope you try it. I hope you like it. Leave me a comment. Either way, see you later. Bye.